If you're constantly feeling stressed out, who knows? Maybe it just seems like nothing ever seems to be going your way. Maybe you're struggling with you on your health and fitness journey. You're overweight, you're lacking the confidence, you're lacking the motivation, your clothes don't fit well, or who knows? Maybe you're struggling when it comes to finances, or you're in a toxic relationship, or maybe, I don't know, you just don't like your boss. Any form of stress there is, and stress comes in all these different types of forms. A few of them that I just mentioned, but also if you think about it, if you're not sleeping enough, you're underneath a lot of stress. If let's just say you're not eating enough, you're underneath a lot of stress. If you get injured, right? An injury is a form of stress on your body. Now, what other form of stress that you may be dealing with right now? I want to make sure to just give you one simple solution to help you just overcome this battle when it comes down to stress. It is such an easy solution, and we're going to get to that here in a little bit. But I promise you that the analogy that I give you, hopefully that is just going to be that flipping of the switch, right? To give you that inspired action to at least do it. Because even though it's a simple solution, most people, they hide. They don't ever want to face this, battle that they're facing with when it comes to stress. And we're going to dive into that here in a little bit. Now, in case you guys are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. My name is Coach Joe. I'm the CEO and head coach of Heartletics, where I help people just learn how to just become the best version of themselves. And what does that truly mean? Well, I use fitness as my outlet, right? Working out, eating healthy, but more so it's just like, that's just the physical components. Fitness to me means becoming the best version of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? These are the four core pillars that I like to focus on with our online personal training clients, where we can just help them. That way they can develop more confidence, have a better, development when it comes to a relentless mindset, pursuing their health and fitness goals and other kind of goals that they just want to achieve in life. Now, putting that all aside, remember, you're here because you're maybe dealing with some stress in your life. Regardless if that's your health and fitness journey, regardless if that's your finances or some other form of stress, what other form of stress that you're dealing with, you need to understand this, right? Let me first educate you before we get to this simple solution, okay? Stress is the number one killer for most people, okay? I know personally for me, anytime I'm dealing with a lot of stress in my life, and it's typically just me in my own head, me and my own thoughts, okay? That's typically when I'm not getting the best workouts, I'm not getting the best sleep, and sure enough, hey, I'm not following through with hitting my macros, right? I'm not getting the best nutrition. And what does that typically lead to? Me gaining body fat, me not looking the best, me not feeling the best, me not performing the best, right? Me not having the best, focus also, because so much is going on. And you got to understand this, especially if you're somebody that you're overweight, you're dealing with a lot of stress, right? Like your health matters the most. It is truly the best investment that you can ever make in your life. When you are focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, you're filling up those four pillars, right? Those four cups that I talked about, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Guess what? You can be more of an asset to actually help out others rather than being a liability. And in my opinion, that's how we're going to make this world a better place. It first starts with us taking action, right? Walking the walk, not just talking the talk. We have to take that first step forward, okay? Stress is, once again, the number one killer for most people, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to get a little personal, be authentic with you guys here, okay? Back when I was about 22 years old, I was in a really dark place in my life. We're talking depression, we're talking anxiety, suicidal thoughts, everything like this, okay? And at that time, I just thought because, hey, I'm this big macho guy that lifts weights, right? I'm obviously doing MMA and boxing at that time in my life. What is other people going to think about me if I went ahead and shared my insecurities and told them I was struggling with depression, struggling with anxiety, struggling with suicidal thoughts? This isn't exactly easy things to talk about and share with, right? My friends are going to think like I'm a weak link, I'm a loser, right? My parents are going to think I'm crazy if I went ahead and told them, right? So there wasn't a lot of great advice, right? There was just me just going to Google. And sure enough, hey, I go into Google and it gave me some self-help practices. And that's what started kind of this personal development trend, okay? Which led to yoga, and then led to meditations, and then that led into affirmations, and then it led into, focusing on gratitude journaling and all these different things to help me. Now, granted, all those different techniques, all those different practices were great, and they did help me, okay? But that wasn't the secret that what I found out truly can help somebody when it comes to dealing with stress. And that's to talk about it, okay? This is something that, I share a lot with my, group coaching clients, with my online coaching clients, with even, our small groups at our church, is just being real, being authentic, and sharing this, right? Your problems, your insecurities. And in fact, my pastor always says this: a problem shared is a problem cut in half. And remember, the stress that you're dealing with right now, okay, that might be because you're overweight. That might be because you're injured. That might be stress due to finances. That might be stress due to, a toxic relationship, drama, or anything like this, okay? I want to give you the analogy that's at least going to help you, because you might be thinking, yeah, but Joe, it's so easy for you to just say that. You don't know what I'm going through right now. I can't talk about this. I can't share this. I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to think about me any differently if I share these insecurities. Hear me out, right? I do know what you're going through, because we all kind of share the same insecurities. We all kind of share the same flaws. Guys, girls, it doesn't really matter, right? We all have these, skeletons in the closet that we don't want anybody to see, right? And we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. We're constantly, thinking about what other people are going to think about us and judging and all these different things. So I get it. And remember, right, especially what I just mentioned earlier, me, 22 years old, right? Like suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety galore, okay? I've been in the darkest deep pits of hell, I like to say, when it comes to me just being trapped in my own mind, right? Me being trapped in my own emotions, where you constantly feel like, man, no one else is going to understand this. If I share this information, people are going to think I'm crazy or judge me, whatever the case may be. So I get it. I've been in your shoes plenty of times. Now hear me out, okay? The reality is this. Once again, everybody has their own flaws. Everybody has their own insecurities, okay? The minute you start shining that light, right, and just opening up the door to it, you're giving other people permission to do exactly the same. And that's exactly how we're going to help people grow. That's exactly how we're going to help people just strive to become better. Strive to be just more authentic. And that's the secret, okay? So you may be thinking to yourself, but once again, hey, Joe, like, easier said than done. I get it, right? It's not exactly an easy task to do. And I mentioned it's an easy solution, but very, very hard to do. Right? Like, think about it, right? Let's talk about working out, for example. Let's talk about tracking your macros, eating more protein, drinking more water, going for more walks, getting more steps in. If you're somebody that's overweight that's watching this right now, you know what you probably should be doing. You know you should work out more. You know you should put down the chips, right? You know you should, stop binge watching Netflix and go for a walk. You know all these things. But are you actually doing it? Probably not, right? Why? Because you have bad habits. Once again, easier said than done. Sometimes, say, that bad wolf wins, right? You feel like being lazy. You don't feel like showing up that day. You don't feel like striving to become the best version of yourself. So once again, it's an easy solution, right? But it's actually hard to do for some people. And it might be hard for you to open up and vent and talk to people, right? And this is why I highly recommend you got to find your tribe, right? You got to find your group of people that's going to support you, a community, right? Because that's what's really going to amplify your growth. That's what's really going to help you out. But most importantly, help you just release some of this stress. I'm not saying the stress is going to go away, right? But once again, what my pastor always says, a problem shared is a problem cut in half. And just by you talking, whether somebody has really good advice or not, it's just you getting it off your chest, you're going to feel 10 times better. And I'm pretty sure you've done that in multiple areas of your life where you just talked. You just vent it. You just pour it out. Whatever it is that you're holding into, right? All those negative emotions, all those negative thoughts, all the anxiety, whatever it is, the stress, you poured it out. And you probably felt way better afterwards, right? So hear me out. This is the analogy that I just want you to think about, just to give you some inspired action, okay? Think about a glass of water. I don't have one with me right now, obviously, but think about a glass of water, okay? And let's just say I had food coloring. And let's say that food coloring was black. And these are just negative emotions, right? Negative thoughts, negative feelings, right? This is the envious, this is the hate, this is the pride, this is the ego, the comparison, the judging, just everything, okay? And you're just putting in there, let's just say 50 drops, right, of the black food coloring, the negativity, into that glass of water. Obviously, it's going to turn black, okay? Now, let's just say that I had white food coloring. And this is like the fruits of the spirit. So like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, right? This is all the good stuff, the positive emotions, the positive thoughts, the positive feelings, okay? Now check this out, okay? If I put in 100 of the white drops, right, 50 more drops, right, of the white drops compared to the black, compared to the negative, that solution, that water, it's still going to be pretty dark. It's still going to be pretty muddy. Even if I put in 200 drops, 300 drops, 500 drops, guess what? 500 drops of the positivity, right? And then we have 50 drops of the negativity. It's still not going to be pure white. It's still going to be muddy. It's still going to be gray a little bit, okay? That's what I want you to think about, is that stress that you're holding on to by not pouring it out, by not releasing it, you're constantly holding on to it. It's still there. And a lot of us actually deal with this constantly because they'll have their good days, they'll have their bad days, right? And sometimes they just get lost in their own heads where they feel like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to share these emotions. I don't want anybody to think about me any differently, right? Or judge me. And so what do? They just pile it deep and deep, right? They just kind of hide it. They bury it underneath the rug. And then eventually, once again, that solution, it's not going to be very clear. Where more stress piles on, you bury that underneath the rug. More stress piles on, you bury that underneath the rug. And it amplifies. It just grows and grows and grows. But you never actually heal yourself. You never actually help yourself overcome that stress. So how do you overcome your stress? Well, it's the same thing as you having that glass of water, right? With the 500 drops of positivity, the 50 drops of the negativity. It's still gray. It's still muddy. It's still dirty. You pour it out. Just like how with you, with the stress that's in your life, you need to talk to somebody. You need to just talk to somebody. You need to share what's on your mind. That's it. And this is why, once again, I'm a big advocate, right, of talking to therapists, of finding community groups that can support you, of having friends, having people in your corner, right, that once again, they care about your essential well-being. They want you to be successful, right? They don't want you to be struggling with all this stuff. But it's ourselves, our own mindsets that get us in trouble because we often think that nobody else knows what we're going through. You know, like, what are people going to think about me if I did share this? So I want to let you just know, from somebody that deals with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, suicidal thoughts, right? The worst of the worst, right? My head goes crazy at times, okay? The best way to overcome that, right? The best way to just help you in the midst of that moment is just by talking. And I want to give you full permission that starting today, whatever you're dealing with in your life, the stress, the anxiety, the worry, doubt, the depression, talk about it, right? You're going to do two things, right? This is what's going to happen to you when you actually share this. One, you're going to feel 10 times better, right? Going back to what my pastor always says, a problem shared is a problem cut in half. You're going to feel 10 times better instantly, okay? Instead of you burying it underneath the rug and then it amplifies and then it grows. The second thing is you're actually going to be stepping outside of your comfort zone. And anytime you step outside of your comfort zone, you're actually going to be boosting your confidence. You're actually going to be becoming more courageous, right? Be more proud of yourself, right? For actually doing something that's hard. Once again, it's an easy solution. Oh, just talk about how you're feeling. But most people don't do that. And if you think about it, why do you think that, especially nowadays in 2025, men's mental health is at an all-time high? I mean, it's crazy to think about this. And the solution is once again simple. Guys, right, especially girls have an easier time, right, venting and sharing their thoughts, sharing their emotions, talking about their feelings. Guys, we hold that stuff in because we often think like, what are people going to think about us, you know? So if you're a guy that's watching this right now, you're dealing with something in your life, I just want to let you know, right? Like, you don't have to be carrying that burden all by yourself. You don't have to be dealing with all that stress all by yourself. And the easiest solution is just talking about it. It's just getting off your chest. So I really hope that this video was just being here to support you in whatever it is that you're going through, to encourage you, but also just inspire you to just, hey, speak up, right? Get that stuff off your chest. Go find somebody to talk to. It is going to help you out tremendously, tremendously. And if you guys did get any value, I'd greatly appreciate if you just give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your biggest thoughts as well. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it. My name is Coach Joe with heartatletics.com, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.